All right, a beautiful morning. Welcome to Women's Corner. My name is Rose Blossom. It's good to be here. Happy Independence Day to all Nigerians out there. There's a package, just a small package for everyone joining us, of course, at the end of the show, definitely. And of course, today we're talking about boredom in marriage and relationship. What is the reason why we get bored in our marriage or in our relationship? Plus, how do we, jive it up, make it happy, make it interesting, do some activities, so that the love does not die. Even if the love died, there's this friendship that keeps going. So whatever ship you are, of course, I know when you have your friends too, you have your relationship, you don't want it to be bored and kill yourself of boredom. Anyways, I'm here. I have an amazing guest that will be joining via Zoom. She'll be joining us pretty soon. She's already in. But before I introduce my guest, I want you to know that we're streaming live on Facebook and Twitter at Galaxy Television. And of course, you can subscribe and like our YouTube channels, which are Galaxy Television, Galaxy TV, Galaxy TV News, Galaxy TV Entertainment, and Galaxy TV Comedy. If you want to crack your ribs and forget all your sorrows. This is a very good day to actually celebrate ourselves and celebrate Nigeria as a whole. So anyways, we're not talking about Nigeria today on the show. It's just a cutsy thing to actually say Happy Independence. When we're having the balls, definitely we'll do it the proper way. So let's have our short breaker, and right after the break, I introduce my guest, and of course, we get talking in the studio. Stay with us and don't go away. All right, welcome back. Can we have Egwono Isukevebor? She is a speaker. She's the CEO of Christie's Jewels, and she's a woman advocate. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Happy Independence Day.
Thank God the network is networking us today. Okay, so we were supposed to talk about boredom last week, but I said due to the network issues, I was still going to bring you up this week so we could talk about it, and it's very important. But the only thing that keeps coming to my mind is it because love has reduced or the love disappeared, or because we are too busy, that's why we get bored during our relationship or even in our marriages?
Well, I think you have the answers. Love has reduced because of stress. I used to make this joke, like, I don't think there's any man in Nigeria now that still opens the door for his wife, because the economy is not helping things at all. I don't think there's anyone that still remembers that, to show those courtesies in marriage or in relationship. So we'll say that love has reduced, we are busy, overwhelmed, but we are strong. Thank you.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that sometimes the stress, the overwhelm, the work, let's say the economy, like you said, is sometimes contributing to this boredom. A lot of people actually believe that because, aside from being busy, some persons believe that maybe they were expecting too much in that relationship. There's this thing about a man is chasing you, and a man wants you, and you feel like he really wants you. Then you get into the marriage or the relationship, and you find out that which logically men are usually like that. When they are working towards a project, they put all their energy. Not just men, but women. We put all our energy to make it work. But once we now know it's in place, we just let it go and face something else. So yeah, sometimes it's like that for the men. So when they chase after you, see somebody chasing after you for 7 years, and eventually you agree. He's doing everything while you agreed, trying to, pamper you during the relationship and all of that. And when you get married, you find out that you're as good as a closed project because he knows now you are at home. What do you think women can do at this point? What do you think women can do at this point that will make them relieve those moments again? I know you can't have it all, definitely, because you're already married, so you have to focus on other things. But what do you think women can do to relieve that marriage again, to spice it up and make it more interesting once they feel like the man has probably reduced in the so much interest he had before settling down with you?
Thank you, Blossom. There's a saying, it takes two to tango. So in a marriage and in a relationship, there are two people, definitely. But I feel like most times, the boredom thing really starts with you. Because, you have to even know yourself. in the first place. You have to know yourself. Like, I like the word you use. You called it a project. Because, you know, there's what you call the relationships, like the short-term project, and then you have the long-term project. The problem is that we prepare for the short-term, but we're not well prepared for the long-term. And every project has a start and an end date. And hopefully marriage is supposed to be till death do us part. So when you have the short-term project and you're focused on the short-term project, immediately the guy achieves, oh, I do, we're married, and we're fine, you know. So that image of the long-term project, we have to paint it. There's something called expectation management, assumptions management. Even in project management, you have to understand your expectations, and then you have to manage your expectations in that relationship. So it's, in managing your expectations, there has to be communication of expectations. There are many things you can do as a woman. I believe there are women out there that have tried a lot of things. So it really begins with the people that are involved in the relationship. What are their expectations? Because the truth is that I remember when I got married, the first few years I would do candlelit dinner, try and do, but the kind of husband I have, he's not interested in candlelight. So no matter how, if you don't understand what your partner wants, you can go all out and then you'll be frustrated.
Okay, thank you very much. So, you know, we'll be talking about, you know, why. So a lot of people might not even understand what we're talking about when we say people get bored in relationship and marriage. Now, I would have want to explain, but I think you'll be in a better position to do that. What exactly is that boredom in marriage? What are those things that you see yourself do or your spouse do, you know, in marriage or relationship that makes you realize that, okay, I think we are getting bored, or we are bored in our marriage or our relationships? What are those things that, you know, one needs to check and see if they are there?
You know, most times at the beginning of the relationship, you see that you enjoy spending time with each other. You can take long walks. You can say nothing. You're not bored. You can do nothing with your partner, but you're not bored. You know, you can just be there in time and space, enjoying yourself, enjoying your company. There are no expectations so high. That's the truth, because at the beginning, you just find out you enjoy this person, especially when you marry your friend or when you're in relationship with your friend, because first and foremost, I think the foundation should be friendship. You won't get tired of a friend, more so a friend that you're stuck with in marriage, because there's no going anywhere. So you have to learn to adapt and then stay with this person, because first and foremost, that's why it's so important to marry your friend, because your friend is someone who is always there underneath. You know that this person is my friend. So even though we do nothing, we don't get so bored. When you just begin to notice that, man, communication is, you're not communicating. That's when you know that, man, things are becoming seriously routine. And especially when the kids come in, there's the distraction of children, there's the distraction of your own career goals, there's the distraction of, they're not distractions, they're actually good things. Or we need to learn to manage them in the marriage. That's why it's important for the two people to be in agreement. So when you see that, you know, you don't send I love you messages, you don't want to call. I remember then you call for hours and just laugh, and everything is funny. But then when you begin to notice that the communication, one of the signs of stress is do you have a healthy communication in your marriage or in your relationship?
Thank you very much for that one. Okay, so I love the angles you're coming from, to be honest. How about some couples who have probably, you know, tried talking about it, tried doing some activities, and, you know, while they are trying, you know, probably they don't talk very much before, but now they talk, they relate, they laugh, they gist, they watch movies together. Now I'm talking about the married people. What happens, what do you think will be wrong when, despite doing all of these things, they can't still take it to the other room? There's no intimacy, despite being close again. There's no intimacy. I'm asking this because as a woman, I know a lot of people will feel like, okay, we talk now, we hang out, but we rarely have sex as couples, as a husband and wife, as they are. So what do you think a woman needs to do? Like, what are the energies she needs to bring on to be able to, maybe the man should probably find her attractive, or maybe she needs to build herself, I don't know. But what advice will you give to a woman that is still having issues despite maybe overcoming a little bit of the boredom in their marriage, but the other side of it is not being well taken care of, and that is a very big issue? How do you think a woman can be able to cope to, get that right?
So it's really about stress management most times. It's really about taking things to the other room. Because one thing I know is a woman that is stressed is switching. So you sometimes you need the help of the partner to. One of the things that I know women enjoy is when they are helped physically around the house, chores or anything. There's no woman. There's a love language. There's something that will trigger. But if your spouse is not speaking that language, it's a long thing. That's the truth. It's a long thing. But that's another thing about expectation management. Sometimes you have to adjust your expectations. In the case where you really can't get those expectations, you have to make an adjustment, or you make a decision. If you're in the marriage, you're in the marriage. If you're in the relationship, is it something you want to keep? If it's something you want to keep, then you need to look at adjusting your expectations and then praying praying to God to help you. Because really, if you are stressed, if a woman is stressed, I'm not talking about just physical, it all comes together, physical, mental, especially in this country now where, I say our mothers, at least maybe all they did was maybe do one civil service job and then come home by 2 o'clock, take care of the family. Things were, even the price of Gary was not 4,000 naira. So as a woman, you are calculating and you are having to adjust to so many things. Definitely there will be a turn-off. So you need to check. Sometimes taking a break, take care of yourself. Take a break. Take a step back. It's so important. Most times we say we can't afford it, but we need it. We need it. Women die every day. Women have their blood pressure going up every day. If you don't take that break, if you don't heal yourself, you won't have anything to offer. And at the end of the day, it will affect your marriage and your home. I hope I answered.
Okay, I like that. I have 2 questions which are quite side by side. Now, there are some couples. I'm just, while you're saying this, I'm reasoning a lot of, couples that, at one point they've discussed 1 or 2 things with you and you're wondering, you're not a therapist, how do you give them advice? Well, you give the best that you can. Now, there are some persons that will say, there's a person that will say, okay, me and my husband, we like eating out. The kids are not always around, so we're always eating out and everything. And, the boredom came in that, he's always expecting probably the meal at home. When he's tired or she's tired, she just expect that maybe they order in, or she just cook something or get something from the fridge and eat. Now, for a woman that still wants that outing, I still want to go out, let's go have dinner, those are the things that make them bond. They have fun, probably karaoke, clubbing, however it is, that whatever they've been doing before. Now, how do you think it is normal for a woman to always think that she has to go back to that previous previous ideology of what she had about the relationship or how the marriage was going to be when she get married, even with kids? Do you think it's very normal for her to still think that they can work towards it? And naturally, if a man does not believe in eating out anymore because he feels you're married, you should be cooking in the house, do you think that's actually wrong, or they are actually making sense to, I don't know?
Okay,
you're shaking your head.
Just trying to please my own kind of person. I would I know my marriage. I know where I'm from. So I would say it's not normal for me to expect that. But I believe that there are people out there, there are men that make a lot of big adjustments, for love. But the truth is that I realize that you can never really be satisfied by the other person. So the whole, 80% of it really comes from you. Well, because if you are bored, then there's something wrong with you in the first place. What kind of person? Because you can't put it all on marriage. You can't put it all on I'm going out to club, or if I don't have this. It's just like it's like a child saying, if I don't get biscuit, I'm going to throw a tantrum. So this is real. This is real. I'm speaking from my own point of view anyway. I'm not going to say it's the final or it's cast in stone, because there could be varieties. But it's just that you need to learn. It's just like I learned that the eagle doesn't fly, it soars. So it watches the wind. When you take steps in your marriage, you have to watch. You know, the Bible says pray and watch. You have to watch, you have to look, you have to observe and say, there are some things you say at the wrong time. It's right. I've learned something. It's not about doing the correct thing, it's about doing the right thing. And the right thing also means, is that the time for it? Because you could be saying you're correct. This thing, there's nothing wrong with me wanting to have fun with my spouse. It will really make me happy. And of course, you're my spouse. You're supposed to be part of my joy, part of those things that make me happy and those things that build me. So, but you need to know the difference between correct and right. You can be correct and lose your marriage. You have to stay right and keep the right things going. So I hope, I know I missed myself along the way, but I'll come back to it. There was something I wanted to say. I'll come back to it.
Okay. No, what you wanted to say something. You can go ahead and say it.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying that in a marriage there are expectations. Now you want if your spouse is not willing to adjust, you know, men can be funny. They can make the adjustments, but when you are hard and you want to be correct, you see them, there'll be a fight. There's something I used to say to couples too, that in marriage you have to learn how to fight. In the sense that in fighting you stay on the issues. So how to fight? Because that's one of the things that keep your marriage. The fight is what makes it interesting. That's the truth. If you're in a relationship and you don't fight, you will not grow. Even the other road will be boring. Most times the fight helps the other road. So you have to learn how to fight in the sense that you stay on the issues and not on the personalities. That's one thing that happens in marriage. By the time you start attacking personalities, you see things just dwindling. You won't know how and when. Or just find. I used to say, people that get divorced, they didn't know how they got there. Many of them. They started out well. Beautiful marriage, everything, you know, best friends, and then all of a sudden we're talking divorce. So you have to watch the wind. You have to watch it. As a woman, you have to be wise. Because really, in our culture, in this, generally, it really has to be with the woman that builds and builds and builds. And God has given us that nature to build and find our way, even when there's no way. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this one. Thank you, because I know a lot of people will just, like you said, men can be very funny at times, and you know, like a lot of women need to understand that men are naturally egoistic, especially mostly African men. There's this, it's just inborn. I don't know, maybe it's part of the gene, it's just there. So but if you know how to grace it, if you know how to talk to them, like you said, friendship is very, very important. You don't get into a relationship or a marriage with someone that is not your friend, so that when issue arises, when change needs to happen, it's easy because you already know this person. You probably know how to grease his ego, you know, make him feel like a king, and at the same time, you know, when he has already, you know, fall down into your laps, he becomes like a baby again. At that point, you can now effect the change that you want. That's an amazing one. I still have a lot of questions for you, but let's take a breather. And this breather, we're going to be talking about just tips on electricity. And this one is because I think on Monday, which was yesterday, and today, just around the Ikeja, I noticed some shops, they didn't get burnt down, but they had, you see a lot of people, you know, trying to, you know, stop the fire so that it doesn't spread to the whole store. So I thought about, like, okay, since this is still happening with a lot of cautions, I think some persons, you know, you cannot be too careful, to be honest. Sometimes they say if you're too careful, you end up being very careless. So you can't be too careful, but you just have to be careful. So let's quickly look at a safety tips on electricity. This is how to maintain electricity, even if you have a child, you have a store, you have an office, in your home, however it is. This is just a safety tips for you on electricity. And right after that safety tips, we'll be coming back to the studio, of course, to discuss with Egwono, because she's still with us, and we're also talking about boredom in relationship and marriage. So let's have the tips. We'll be right back.
Safety tips on electricity. Many electrical fires can be prevented by following some simple electricity safety tips in our home electrical safety checklist below. There are 10 precautions every homeowner should know and follow. Always remember to ask a professional if you're uncertain about the safety of an electrical outlet or appliance. 1. Always follow appliance instructions for improved electrical safety. Read the instructions should talk the list of electrical safety tips at home. Understanding home appliances safety improves both the performance of your device and your personal safety. Should any appliance give you even a slight electrical shock, stop using it until a qualified electrician checks it for problems. 2. Watch out for overloaded outlets to protect your home. Overloading an electrical outlet is a common cause of electrical problems. Check all outlets to ensure they are cool to the touch, have protective faceplates and are in proper working order. 3. Replace or repair damaged electrical cords to keep your home safe. 4. Keep your used and unused cord tidy and secure to prevent damage. Electrical safety tips don't just apply to power cords when you're in use. Cords also need to be stored safely to prevent damage. Keep stored cords away from children. 5. Unplug all your unused appliances to reduce potential risks. One of the simplest electrical safety tips is also one of the easiest to forget. When an appliance is not in use, unplug it. Not only does it save you power, but unplugging unused appliances also protect them from overheating or power surges. 6. Keep electrical devices and outlet away from water to prevent shock. Water and electricity don't mix well. To follow electrical safety rules, keep electrical equipment dry and away from water to prevent damage to appliances and can protect against personal injury and electrocution. 7. Give your appliances proper space for air circulation to avoid overheating. Without proper air circulation, electrical equipment can overheat and short out and can become an electrical fire hazard. Make sure your appliances have proper air circulation and avoid running electrical equipment in enclosed cabinets. 8. Ensure that all your exhaust fans are clean to prevent fire hazard. 9. Check that you're using the correct wattage in all your fixtures and appliances. 10. Be aware of heaters and water heaters to prevent potential accidents. Combustible items should be kept away from portable heaters and built-in furnaces. For furnace safety, store combustibles far away from any heating appliances.
Right, welcome back. Yes, you know, while we're actually playing these tips, I said something. I saw it on Monday. I saw it today, just right there at Ikeja before Computer. If you're going to Computer Village, so before Computer Village, that's where it happened twice. Yesterday and today. And while we're off the camera also, I had one of my colleague actually tell me that something happened about a cooking gas too, where a baby boy, that was a baby, I don't know even if it's a boy or girl, it was unfortunate that there was a gas explosion during his naming ceremony, and right now the baby is in coma. This is just to say I wish the baby a speed recovery, and hopefully nothing bad happens to the baby, even the skin, because miracle happens. The skin can actually heal. But anyways, this is why we bring some tips. You'll be wondering why we bring some certain tips. It's because of things like this, so you can know. And I hope you listen to that one well for electricity. Just a little spark can burn the whole building down. You have to be very, very careful. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about boredom in marriage and relationship. Hi Egwono, if you're still with us. Is Egwono still there? Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I want to ask now, for the men, we've talked about women, and what women can do, how we can manage the men. Now, advise the men when they find out their relationship is getting bored, or they find out that probably the interest in their relationship is not as high. The stake is not as high as it was before. The interest is not so much anymore. They are busy with work and other things. Before they probably don't have enough time to hang out with their friends, but now they have more time for their friends, more time for work, more time to do some other activities, but not focusing on the wife and the kids. What advice will you give to men in this situation so they could actually help? Because like you said, it takes two to tango. Even if the woman is trying all her very best, her possible best, if the man does not know how to meet the woman halfway, it's just going to be a wasted effort. So what advice will you give to men so that they'll be able to meet all women halfway at least? Do we have a noise?
Hi. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead, please.
Oh, great. Okay, so you asked them advice for the men. I would say for the men, women always say they are easy to please, but I know that men will say women are not easy to please. I have some male friends that will say, I've tried everything. There's nothing I can ever do to please this woman. Well, funny enough, the average woman feels, well, all I want is love and attention. So as the man, you should you should understand your wife. You should understand your partner and know exactly how you can help. And it comes from listening and a lot of patience, because I feel like the woman really by emotions, the woman can want to throw tantrums and say, make shakara. It's not expected that a man should make shakara, so the man should leave the shakara for the woman. And try to understand that sometimes as women we just want to make yanga and shakara. So please be very patient to listen and understand what your spouse needs, what she needs to become. A woman should be built. What your spouse needs to grow, what your spouse needs to shine. Because the truth is that if your wife is blossoming, it's on you. It's on your family. Your family is your future. That family, you should give it more attention. I know you can prioritize many other things, but you should also prioritize your marriage. You should prioritize your home. You should prioritize your family and give it attention. Give it some more connection. Most times you see the women, they are the ones that have the details of the running of the home, the birthday of the child, the events, the planning, the intricates. Men just are on the surface. But I feel like if you give more and you listen more, you will understand where exactly and how to help your spouse or your partner. So it's very important for a woman to be understood, as well as it's important for the man to be understood. But I just want to encourage men out there, don't give up on us. We are wonderful people. Wonderful people. We just need a little more love and attention. There was a friend that said, my wife said she wanted a perfume. I got her a perfume, and then she still fought me that night. Even after what I bought for her. So sometimes it's even in the how you bought the perfume. and when and how. Women are very detailed. So as a man, you need to. It's easy to learn.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, I hope all men can actually hear this and take to the advice. Yes, I totally agree. We men, like you said, we like shakara. In fact, it's that time that you're, begging and pleading, trying to make it up. Oh Lord, that's when we put it together too. Just just for you to know that, we also, and funny enough, we like to be treated like babies. Despite being grown-ups, we still want to be treated like babies, being pampered and all of that, because actually we're babies. That's what we're supposed to be. Some persons will say baby girl for life. Yes, baby girl for life, even at old age. So yes, that's a beautiful one. I'm supposed to ask the question, but because of our time, and I have a video I'm supposed to play, so that video is going to take quite a while. So, but at this point, I want to appreciate Iguano for coming. Thank you so much for joining us and being patient for a week to come up again on the show. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much.
All right, I appreciate you. And of course, if we do not know, Iguano Isukewebor is a speaker. She's a CEO of Christie's Jewels. She's a women advocate. I hope you all, can spice up your relationship from the little we're able to talk about today on the show. At the same time, while you're trying to make a change, try to talk to your partner, know what he likes, know what she likes, do that thing, and be patient. Put a little bit of patience into it, because you can't just it's not a machine where there's a code and a control button. No, it's a human being with a lot of feelings all mixed up. So you just have to give them time, either be a man or be a woman. Anyways, I want to appreciate Iguano again. Thank you so much for coming. Because it's Independence, we're going to be playing a song from Nigerian celebrities coming together to sing "We Are the World." Of course, I'll be wrapping up, and up next is News on the Hour. Right after News on the Hour, we'll be having The Buzz. We'll still be talking about, of course, Nigerian situations, and of course the economy and the state we have in Nigeria all around as of today, starting from Monday. And of course, we'll be wrapping up the show with that video. It's an amazing video, so you want to watch it because I'm sure you're going to be having the goosebumps on you. So at this point, I want to say thank you so much for keeping it locked up with us at Women's Corner that runs from 11 a.m. to 12 noon every Monday through Friday. My name is Rose Blossom. I'll be seeing you soon on the bus. Enjoy.